it's Linda from Homestead by the Lake. I thought today I would bring you along. We're having meatloaf for dinner, and I have made this meatloaf for years and years. I got this cookbook as a wedding gift. So you're talking 40 years ago. And I always remember the meatloaf is on page 241, and look at it, it's broken and stained, and that's the meatloaf page because I've made it so much. So I thought I'd bring you along today. What we need first is we need to combine our eggs and milk, and we need 2 eggs, and we need 3/4 cup of milk. Three-quarters cup. Okay. And we're gonna blend that together real good. Scramble your eggs. Get it all blended up. Okay. See this bowl? This big, huge metal bowl I found at a yard sale. Absolutely love it. Okay, so now we are going to need breadcrumbs. 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, and I am going to use my breadcrumbs that we made. And these are unseasoned. And we need, how much did I say? 1/2 cup. Woo! That's about exactly 1/2 cup. That's perfect. I didn't have to open the other jar. Add 1/2 cup of your breadcrumbs. Mix that together. Okay. And now we need 1/4 cup of chopped onions. And when you are using an onion, make sure you save your ends and your skins for when you make your own homemade vegetable stock. You know, you can also make an onion stock, which I have done, and I have canned it. That has so many uses, and it came out really good. So we are going to cut up 1/4 of an onion. You really want to, hold on, I am going to need glasses. My goodness, the eyesight's going. You know what I mean when you get old? Okay, 1/4 cup, you want it finely chopped. You really don't want to bite into like a big piece of onion, you know? And this is just for some flavor. 1/4 cup. Does that look like a 1/4 cup? I think so. Uh-oh, onion's starting to bother my eyeballs. Move it out of the way. Okay, add 1/4 cup of onion. Perfect. And to that, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, and we need parsley. Where is my salt? Okay, who took my salt? Oh, it's hiding. I found it. Okay, so we want 1 teaspoon of salt. Put that in, and we need 1/2 teaspoon of sage. 1/2 teaspoon. And now we need 2 tablespoons of parsley. Hold on. All right, 2 tablespoons of parsley. And then you want to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. Okay. You're just going to mix that all together. This is such a simple recipe. Can you see this? Look at how nice that is. This really does make the best meatloaf. Super simple recipe. Let me double check and make sure I got all my ingredients. I think I do. Yep. So now all we're gonna do is add our beef. And the recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of beef. And you can use whatever percentage you like. This is a little over 1 pound, so this should be plenty. Put that in. And really the best thing for you to do to mix this is to use your hands. I know, it's so cold, but just use your hands and mix it really well. Get it all incorporated, and then you are just going to add it to a little loaf pan. And we are going to heat our oven to 350 degrees. Make sure you're all nice and incorporated. See that? Perfect. Okay, in it goes. And what I like to do is, when I push it down, is I make a little indentation along the sides, because as it bakes, it will, have some oils build up. And if I push that around on the sides, the oils will go around the sides. And then I like to drain it out as it's cooking. So this is gonna cook at 350. About an hour, but it really does depend on like how much actual beef that you have in here. So I always do 45 minutes and then just check it for doneness and see how it is. So I'm gonna go wash my hands, and then I'm going to preheat my oven to 350. We'll be back. Okay, so we will be back when the meatloaf comes out of the oven. This is the simplest, best meatloaf recipe. Now, it also does have a ketchup, brown sugar, mustard topping in the recipe book, but I don't do that. I don't like a topping on it, but that is an option. You can, let me get that recipe for you. You can combine ketchup, sugar, and mustard. So it's 1/4 cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. And you can combine that and spread it over the meat when the meat is done, and then put it back in the oven for 10 minutes to let that mixture heat up. And that's it. And then you let it sit for a few minutes before you serve it. Goes so good with, of course, mashed potatoes and peas on the side. That's the way we like it. We'll be back. Okay, my oven is preheated to 350. It is going in the oven. And I am going to set my timer for 45 minutes and then we'll be back. We'll check it. It only took an hour to cook and it was done with mashed potatoes and peas.